When the world grapples with energy, crises, and climate change, the urgent challenge for all nations is to address energy demands while safeguarding the environment. In this context, fusion energy emerges as a beacon of hope, promising a clean, near-infinite energy source with zero carbon emissions polluting the environment. In this race, China's Mianyang laser fusion research facility, over 50% larger than the U.S. National Ignition Facility (NIF), is surging ahead, setting an ambitious milestone to replicate the sun's boundless energy on Earth. This is not just a scientific breakthrough, but a bold declaration China is determined to surpass the U.S. and lead the clean energy revolution. Join Top 10 Discoveries official and to explore how China and the Mianyang laser fusion facility are reshaping the future of energy for all of humanity. Let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Global energy demand is skyrocketing at an unprecedented pace. Projections indicate that by 2050, the world will require 80% more electricity than in 2020, driven largely by the explosion of artificial intelligence, massive data centers, and relentless industrialization. While traditional energy sources like coal and oil pollute the environment and our increasingly scarce renewable solutions such as wind and solar lack the consistency to meet the constant demands of cities like Boston or modern factories. Fusion energy, with its potential to deliver clean, powerful, and near-infinite electricity, is emerging as the key to solving the 21st century energy puzzle. At Mianyang, China is constructing a laser fusion facility that surpasses all others, boasting a scale 50% larger than the United States National Ignition Facility, and the leading research center in the field. Equipped with high-powered laser systems, this facility promises to generate energy more potent than any comparable project, paving the way for an era free from reliance on fossil fuels. With an estimated output exceeding the NIF's 2 million joules, Mianyang is not just an engineering marvel, but a symbol of China's ambition to lead the global stage. The pace of this project's development is equally astounding. Launched in 2020, China is racing to complete the facility for testing by 2027 or 2028, nearly a decade ahead of the international ITER project in France, which is slated to become operational only by 2035. This focused investment and determination demonstrate that China is not merely competing, but aiming to shape the future of global energy, thereby strengthening its economic and technological standing on the international stage. Fusion energy. The power source that fuels stars like the sun is emerging as humanity's greatest hope for solving the global energy crisis. At its core, fusion involves combining two light hydrogen nuclei, specifically deuterium and tritium, to form a helium nucleus, releasing an immense amount of energy in the process. Just 2.2 pounds of fusion fuel can generate up to 90,000 megawatt-hours of electricity, enough to power a city like Chicago for an entire day. Unlike traditional nuclear power plants that rely on fission, fusion produces no long-lived radioactive waste, emits no carbon, and uses abundant fuel sources. Deuterium can be extracted from seawater, while tritium is produced from lithium, a mineral abundant on Earth. This means fusion's fuel supply is virtually limitless, ensuring sustainability for centuries to come. The potential of fusion far surpasses current energy sources. With global electricity demand projected to surge by 80% by 2050, fusion promises a stable and uninterrupted power supply, unlike the intermittent nature of wind or solar energy. Imagine this: a single fusion plant could continuously power AI data centers, which are forecasted to consume up to 20% of global electricity by 2030. Furthermore, fusion could support heavy industries like steel production or aerospace, which require vast and reliable energy sources. With its superior energy efficiency, fusion could turn high-tech dreams into reality, from smart cities to distant space missions. However, to make fusion commercially viable, scientists must achieve an energy output-to-input ratio known as the Q factor, greater than 30. Currently, the U.S. National Ignition Facility (NIF) has only reached a Q factor of about 1.5 in 2022, meaning the energy output slightly exceeds the input. China, through its Mianyang project, is investing heavily to surpass this threshold while developing a fuel supply chain from lithium extraction to tritium production. These efforts not only bring China closer to realizing fusion energy, but also lay the foundation for a self-sufficient energy economy. If fusion energy is the key to the future, the Mianyang Laser Fusion Facility in Sichuan Province is the technological spearhead that China is pouring its efforts into to lead this race. With its superior scale and bold technical advancements, Mianyang is not just a research project, but a symbol of China's ambition to shape the future of global energy. Compared to the National Ignition Facility in NIF in the US currently, the world's most advanced fusion research center, Mianyang is creating a significant gap in scale, power, and technology. The Mianyang facility is designed to be over 50% larger than NIF, sprawling across a vast area with 4 laser bays, each containing dozens of high-powered laser beams. These beams converge with pinpoint accuracy on a fuel pellet smaller than a pencil tip containing deuterium and tritium to trigger a fusion reaction. The temperature inside the reaction chamber can reach 270 million degrees Fahrenheit, more than 10 times the temperature of the sun's core. To withstand such extreme conditions, the chamber is constructed from advanced materials like tungsten alloys and heat-resistant ceramics, ensuring durability and safety. Mianyang's total laser output is estimated at 3 million joules, surpassing NIF's 2 million joules in Livermore, California. This superiority allows Mianyang to conduct higher-intensity fusion experiments, bringing China closer to achieving sustainable energy production. The technology at Mianyang represents a quantum leap over existing facilities. Its advanced solid-state laser system, combining neodymium crystals with optical amplification technology, produces powerful and stable beams capable of initiating fusion reactions in billionths of a second. To support rapid reaction cycles occurring every few seconds, China has developed a high-efficiency cooling system using circulating liquids to maintain safe equipment temperatures. A standout feature is the new supercapacitor technology, which enables instantaneous energy storage and release to power the lasers. This surpasses the slower conventional capacitor systems still used in the US. Mianyang is also designed for versatility, supporting both direct drive fusion, where lasers are fired directly at the fuel pellet, and indirect drive fusion using X-rays to trigger reactions. This flexibility allows the facility to test multiple scenarios, increasing the likelihood of achieving an energy output to input ratio, a critical milestone for commercializing fusion. Compared to NIF, Mianyang is not only larger in scale, but also more ambitious in its goals. While NIF focuses on achieving ignition, the point where a fusion reaction produces more energy than it consumes, Mianyang aims to optimize continuous reaction cycles, a prerequisite for commercial power production. The facility's 1.5 times larger footprint enables China to conduct multiple experiments in parallel, from testing new materials to refining fuel pellet designs. These efforts not only accelerate research progress, but also lay the groundwork for practical applications, from clean energy to advanced defense technologies. The Mianyang facility is a testament to China's speed and ambition in the fusion race. With cutting-edge technology and unprecedented scale, it is challenging the US's position in this field. In the race to control the future of energy, each nation's strategy is distinctly shaping the path of fusion technology. China, led by its Mianyang facility, is pursuing a focused, aggressive, and rapid approach, posing a significant challenge to the US and international projects. China has adopted a centralized, state-driven strategy, tightly integrating laser fusion projects like Mianyang with magnetic fusion efforts, such as EAST and HL2M. At the Experimental Advanced Superconducting Tokamak EAST in Hefei, Chinese scientists set a world record in 2024, sustaining plasma at 80 million degrees Fahrenheit for over 16 minutes, a critical step towards sustainable fusion reactions. The Mianyang facility, with its high-powered laser system, complements this strategy by focusing on laser-driven fusion accelerating experiments to achieve ignition. China is also heavily investing in nuclear energy infrastructure, planning to build 150 nuclear reactors from 2020 to 2035, a figure unmatched by any other nation. This coordinated approach, combined with substantial funding and rapid implementation, allows China to simultaneously test multiple fusion methods, increasing its chances of leading the technology race. In contrast, the US approach is more fragmented. The National Ignition Facility, NIF, in California, funded by the US Department of Energy, is the leading laser fusion research center, but its progress is constrained by limited budgets and a focus on fundamental research. While NIF achieved a breakthrough with a Q factor of 1.5 in 2022, American scientists are still struggling to achieve continuous reaction cycles. Meanwhile, private startups like Helion Energy and Commonwealth Fusion Systems are emerging as new players. Helion has secured a contract with Microsoft to deliver fusion energy by 2028, while Commonwealth aims for a commercial fusion plant by 2030. These efforts, though, promising lack centralized coordination and private funding, such as Helion's $425 million paylease, in comparison to China's state-backed investments. Globally, the ITER project in France involving 35 nations is the largest collaborative effort to develop magnetic fusion. However, ITER faces challenges with delays with operations now projected for 2035 due to escalating costs and the complexities of multinational management. South Korea with its KS-STAR reactor and Japan with JT60SA have made notable progress, but their scale and resources are significantly smaller than China's. For instance, K-STAR sustained plasma for 30 seconds at high temperatures, but it falls short of East's 16-minute record. The key difference lies in speed and focus. China not only invests more heavily, but also seamlessly coordinates its research projects, from laser to magnetic fusion, and from infrastructure to fuel supply chains. While the US and other nations allocate resources across disparate efforts, China is building a comprehensive fusion ecosystem with the Mianyang facility at its core. The Mianyang Laser Fusion Facility is not only an engineering marvel, but also a strategic turning point, unlocking revolutionary applications for both civilian and military sectors. Managed by the China Academy of Engineering, Physics, Mianyang, promises to transform how the world produces energy while delivering significant military advantages, enabling China to surpass the US in high-tech fields. From providing clean energy for AI data centers to enhancing advanced defense capabilities, this facility is shaping a future where China leads in both economic and strategic domains. On the civilian front, Mianyang is designed to spearhead the delivery of clean energy, helping China reduce its reliance on coal and oil, which currently account for over 60% of its energy supply. Once stable ignition is achieved, the facility could pave the way for commercial fusion plants, delivering continuous electricity to power AI data centers projected to consume up to 1,000 megawatts per center by 2030. Fusion energy, with its low cost and zero carbon emissions, will also support heavy industries like steel production and spacecraft manufacturing, giving China's economy a competitive edge. Unlike renewable sources like wind or solar, which depend on weather conditions, Mianyang's fusion energy promises a stable power supply, meeting the growing demands of major cities like Los Angeles or New York. Mianyang's military advantages are a critical highlight, providing China with superior capabilities in high-energy physics research. The facility enables simulations of extreme conditions, such as the pressure and temperature of nuclear reactions, with unprecedented precision, facilitating the design of advanced defense systems without costly real-world testing. Compared to the US, which still relies on traditional simulation methods, at facilities like Mianyang offers greater speed and efficiency, cutting development timelines for defense technologies from years to months. For instance, simulations at Mianyang can optimize missile defense systems or heat-resistant materials for military spacecraft, delivering a clear strategic advantage. China has invested 10 times more than the US in fusion-related materials research, with budgets in the billions of USD from 2020 to 2024, solidifying its leadership in this domain. Additionally, Mianyang serves as a hub for technological innovation, driving the development of advanced materials like tungsten alloys and heat-resistant ceramics, with applications in aerospace and industrial manufacturing. From 2015 to 2024, China registered 500 fusion-related patents, double the number of the US securing control over core technologies and supply chains. These innovations not only advance fusion, but also create opportunities for other industries, from turbine production to satellite manufacturing. The synergy of clean energy, military advantages, and technological innovation is creating a high-tech ecosystem with Mianyang at its core. The Mianyang facility is more than a scientific endeavor. It is a strategic lever strengthening China's position on the global stage. The Mianyang laser fusion project is not only a technological breakthrough, but also a geopolitical lever capable of reshaping the global energy and technology order. If China achieves stable ignition at Mianyang, it will not only hold the key to clean energy, but also solidify its strategic position in the technology race against the US and other global powers. From controlling fuel supply chains to setting technological standards, this project could propel China to the forefront, weakening the influence of nations reliant on oil and gas. Once Mianyang achieves viable fusion energy, China will gain a strategic advantage in controlling both the technology and its supply chain. Fusion energy would allow China to reduce its dependence on oil imports, which currently account for over 70% of its oil needs, while enabling it to export fusion technology much like it has done with 5G networks and electric vehicles. China is heavily investing in lithium extraction and tritium production, the two critical components for fusion fuel. With substantial lithium reserves and industrial-scale tritium production capabilities, China could dominate the global fusion supply chain, creating dependency among other nations seeking to deploy fusion technology. This would grant China geopolitical leverage akin to that of OPEC nations in the oil era, but with a cleaner and more sustainable energy source. Moreover, Mianyang positions China to set global fusion technology standards, a proven advantage seen in its 5G leadership. From 2015 to 2024, China registered over 2,500 fusion-related patents, double the US figure securing control over core technologies and intellectual property. If other nations aim to build fusion plants, they may need to rely on Chinese patents and equipment, strengthening China's economic and political influence. This is particularly significant as energy exporting nations like Saudi Arabia and Russia could see their influence wane as fusion supplants oil and gas, reshaping the global geopolitical landscape. The US, aware of this challenge, increased its fusion research budget to $1.5 billion USD in the 2025 fiscal year, but still lags behind China's focused investment. While US startups like Helion Energy and Commonwealth Fusion Systems are accelerating progress, the fragmented approach between government and private research hinders the US from matching China's pace. If Mianyang succeeds before the National Ignition Facility, the US risks losing its edge in a critical technology field, impacting not only energy, but also defense and economic domains. For instance, China's lead in fusion could unlock advanced military applications, such as spacecraft propulsion or high-energy defense systems, widening the strategic gap with the US. The Mianyang project is more than an energy revolution. It is a strategic move to shape the global order. By controlling technology supply chains and standards, China is positioning itself as the leader in a new era. Fusion energy, with China's Mianyang facility at the forefront, is a transformative force capable of reshaping the global economy and society. From slashing energy costs to creating millions of jobs and improving the environment, fusion promises profound changes not only in China's major cities like Shanghai and Shenzhen, but also in tech hubs like Silicon Valley and industrial centers like Pittsburgh. Economically, fusion energy has the potential to fundamentally alter the cost and structure of the energy sector. Experts predict that if fusion achieves commercial viability, electricity prices could drop to 5 cents per kilowatt hour, less than a third of the current US average of 15 cents. In China, where industrial electricity prices range from 8 to 12 cents per kilowatt hour, this reduction would provide a significant competitive edge for manufacturing and high-tech industries. For instance, in Shenzhen, the global hub for electronics manufacturing, low-cost fusion energy could enable companies like Huawei and BYD to cut production costs, strengthening their position in global markets. AI data centers projected to consume up to 1,000 megawatts per center by 2030 would benefit from a stable, low-cost power supply, fueling the boom in artificial intelligence and cloud computing. The global fusion energy market could reach a value of $2.5 trillion USD by 2050, comparable to the scale of today's semiconductor industry. Socially, fusion energy promises a jobs revolution. By 2040, the fusion industry could create 2 million new jobs worldwide, ranging from high-tech engineers at research centers in Boston or Beijing to workers constructing fusion plants in industrial zones. In China, Sichuan province, home to the Mianyang facility, could emerge as a new hub for high-tech employment, with thousands of engineers and scientists trained to operate advanced fusion facilities. Environmentally, fusion energy offers a revolutionary solution to combat climate change, with the potential to reduce carbon emissions from electricity production by 90%. By 2050, fusion could enable nations like the US and China to meet Paris Agreement targets without sacrificing economic growth. In China, where cities like Beijing and Shanghai frequently grapple with severe air pollution, fusion could significantly reduce PM 2.5 particulate matter, improving health outcomes for millions. Unlike fission reactors, fusion produces no long-lived radioactive waste, delivering a truly clean energy source. This is particularly critical for major cities like Los Angeles or Shanghai, where air pollution incurs billions of USD in annual healthcare costs and lost productivity. With China leading the charge through the Mianyang facility, the US must act swiftly to maintain its position in this technology race. The success of fusion energy will not only deliver economic, social, and environmental benefits, but also shape the future of industries and quality of life worldwide. The fusion laser facility in Mianyang, a marvel of technology, stands as a symbol of China's ambition to shape the future of energy. If this project succeeds in 2027, Mianyang will usher in a new era, propelling China to the forefront and changing the global energy landscape. Fusion energy, mimicking the process that powers the sun, promises to generate an immense amount of electricity, 90,000 megawatt-hours from just 1 kilogram of fuel, enough to power a city like Denver for an entire day. With the potential cost of electricity dropping to $0.05 per kilowatt-hour, only a third of the current price in the US, fusion could revolutionize industries like artificial intelligence, which is expected to account for 20% of global electricity consumption by 2030, and heavy industrial manufacturing. Furthermore, fusion produces no carbon emissions, uses abundant fuel sources from seawater and lithium, offering a sustainable solution for the planet. Looking further ahead, fusion opens up new opportunities beyond Earth. Chinese researchers and NASA are exploring fusion propulsion for spacecraft, potentially halving the travel time to Mars. By the end of the 21st century, fusion could provide energy for space colonies, turning science fiction dreams into reality. With 2,500 fusion patents from 2015 to 2024, double the number of the US, China is on track to establish global technology standards similar to what they've done with 5G and electric vehicles. If Mianyang achieves a breakthrough, China could shape the future of energy, controlling standards and supply chains from lithium extraction to tritium production. The fusion race is not just a matter of science, it is a battle for global stature. A step forward by China could overshadow nations reliant on oil and gas, reshaping the world economic order. The US, with a $1.5 billion budget for fusion in 2025, faces the risk of falling behind. While startups like Helion Energy and Commonwealth Fusion Systems are making efforts, the lack of focus in the US pales in comparison to China's determined national strategy. Fusion energy, with China's Mianyang facility and efforts in the US, such as the National Ignition Facility, is not just a scientific breakthrough, but a beacon guiding humanity's future. The vision of a world powered by clean, limitless energy is gradually becoming a reality, promising to change the way we live, work, and interact with the universe. From smart cities in Shanghai to tech hubs in Silicon Valley, from exploring deep space to building a sustainable planet, fusion presents an ambitious yet challenging prospect. But the question remains, can we turn this dream into reality? And will the US allow China to lead the way in shaping the future, or will it strive to surpass them in this race? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to hit subscribe so you won't miss the latest insights on technology, national strategies, and inventions that are shaping the future. Top 10 Discoveries. Official will be back with untold stories, groundbreaking projects that challenge limits, and quiet revolutions with a global ripple effect. See you in the next video.